guys doing? I told our guys, as we were getting ready for this game, that this was going to be a challenge. Watching these guys on film, watching how they played, they played Colgate, and Colgate jumped on them. Colgate was up big, and they ended up coming back and winning. And then, Colgate rose to Syracuse and beats them by 15, like a couple of days later. Like, this was going to be a challenge in terms of how they played, with effort, and the effort it was going to need. We were going to need defensively to slow them down. And, you see clips of it. And we'll probably be showing these clips forever. And I told our guys in 2009, when I was at Butler, we played in the Bracket Buster, and we played Davidson. And Steph Curry used to push the ball in transition and really attack. And we used to show clips of, sprint like Curry has the ball. And I told our guys that. And then you watch tonight, and you see John run. He's going for the offensive rebounds, and then he sprints as hard as possible to turn around and build a wall before those guys could get back there. And, they played at the highest pace in the country coming into this game. They got 8 transition points. And that's kudos to our effort. Our guys' focus in terms of how they're going to guard them. And, proud of our effort tonight.
Micah, could you address your effort on the other end of the court as well? You had, I think, 13 or 14 turnovers until about 7 minutes to go, and then it was just one possession after another clicking. How frustrating was the first part, and then how satisfying was the second?
Yeah, I think we, right now we go through too many kind of mental lapses with the ball where we're careless with it. We need to value it more the entire game. And, our goal is 10 turnovers or less every single game. And we haven't quite cracked it yet, but we'll get there. But we settled down and we started getting some different things. They started to run and jump late in the game. Now we have more guys coming towards the ball. We were getting into the middle. We were getting it out of the middle. And I think there's where you saw the difference from UMass and even St. Francis, where we didn't look to attack not one time in those. But when we had opportunities, we tried to attack it. We caught it and we moved it and we found the open guy. And we're going to take layups, dunks, and wide open threes, because those are good shots for our team. And we got a couple of those. Even though we didn't hit them all, we got a couple. So, I kept saying it to those guys late, win the game. Win the game. Don't wait for them to lose it. Win it. Do everything you need to do to win it, whether that's boxing out, whether that's sprinting, whether that's taking care of the ball, or whether that's, shot faking and finding somebody open for an open shot. Win the game. And I thought we did that late.
Micah, you mentioned previously that you'll take as many threes as the defense dictates. What did they do that sort of dictated taking 34 tonight?
They are they really swarm to the basketball when you put it down and drive it. They're a very help-oriented team. So we talked about, attacking off the dribble. The help comes. Now you got to play off 2 feet and find the open guy who's going to be out. Now, we took a bunch of those threes. I think still, if you go back and watch, which we'll do tomorrow, there's better opportunities where some of those we could have attacked again. Like, we want to always have the defense in rotation. And, whether you shoot that three or whether you drive it again, now the lane's more open for you to get layups. Right? So that's a learning process for us, too. If, there's a night where those threes aren't falling, let's still drive it in there, kick it out, and now let's attack the next closeout and try and get a layup. All right? Or we get another three on the other side. So just really taking what the defense gives us, and we took a bunch of shots in shoot around today. I'm glad we bumped that up from 15 to 20 minutes. Probably aided us. That's, I guess that's why we made 15 threes. Hats off to Adam Fisher and Mike Fairley.
You guys go down 10 and then score 5 of the next 6 baskets in the first half. Then in the second half, when it's still close, you go on basically a run to close out the game. Those are things that younger teams don't necessarily do. You've talked about being older. Maybe you don't play perfect. Maybe there's things that you want to get better at. But younger teams don't always win these games. Do you feel like being older is one of the things that helped you tonight?
I didn't feel like there was any panic when we got down. And, there's always a lot of game left to come back. And we didn't panic. We settled in to what we needed to do. We started getting better shots, and then we started getting stops. Like we don't want to play off of our offense. We want to play through our defense. And I felt like our defense spurred us when we needed it. So, this team, like I said, it's a challenge. Like they came in averaging 88 points a game, and they got to the paint at will, and they get to the free throw line at will. And I thought we did a great job of limiting those things, turned them into a jump shooting team. Right? They took 32 threes. They didn't get to the foul line as much as they normally do because of how solid we were defensively. So, settling in through our defense, winning games through our defense, going on runs and letting those runs spur us through our defense is that's how you have to play. If you want to win in our league, you got to be gritty and you got to be tough and you got to guard people.
Coach, you touched on this a little bit, but you had 15 threes tonight, which tied a program record. How does it feel to tie a program record in just your 4th game as head coach?
I told Chelsea I wasn't going to say this. I walked out. I don't want to jinx it at all, but, my guy Matt Painter, I spend a lot of time with him, and I talk to him all the time and everything else, but when you see things that you don't normally see, right? I look down at the box score and I see Sam is 6 of 7 from 3. And, Coach Painter would say that's like seeing Bigfoot at the mall right there. But hats off to him, man. He works on his game, right? He stays after every single shoot around and gets shots up. He stays after every single practice and gets shots up. He comes in on his off days and he gets shots up. And the confidence to take it is what we need from him, right? He passed up a wide open 3 at UMass, which was a great possession. We swung it around, got a wide open shot, and he put his head down and drove it, right? That's going to make him predictable in how people guard him. Now, if he's having the confidence to take threes, but now he's making threes, it's hard to guard. It's hard to figure out. The other guys, they're just, we were trying to get them set up in the right position to take open shots, and that's what they did. Like, that's what Miles is going to do. That's what Jaheim's going to do. All those guys. I thought John had one in the first half. I wanted him to shoot it, right? Pop to the top of the key and shoot, fire away, man, because he works on it too. So, we're happy with it. I hope we break it here soon, though. We're going to keep taking them. We're going to keep working on our games. We're going to keep getting better. We're going to keep taking open shots, and if the guys continue to move the ball like we are, we're going to get a bunch of open ones too.
Just to follow up quick, you usually dominate the paint, but tonight you kind of dominated from the 3. Was that like an emphasis in practice this week, or just something that happened?
Yeah, we're just taking what the defense gives us, and that's what the game of basketball is. I can't make my mind up before the play happens. Right, I'm gonna try and execute, and then I'm gonna go off what the defense tells me what to do, and how they played and how they swarmed to the ball and how they overhelp. It was going to be a game where we were going to get a bunch of threes, and we did a good job of finding each other in those kind of kick out opportunities. And one of the big plays for me is Miles had the ball in the corner and he didn't panic. We watched film today, it was either today or yesterday, of their defense. They really go for fakes, so he had an opportunity to panic and do something crazy. He shot faked the guy, he jumped, and Miles drove it into the paint. They helped, and he kicked it out, and I think Seth hit a 3 on the opposite side. Like, for him to pay attention to what we're talking about, to know the scout, offensively and defensively, coming out of that, but know what's going to be available when you make plays, like, that's encouraging. And we got a bunch of guys that are doing that right now.
Micah, John gets a lot of play for being a leader and everything and coming back. How important is Sam from that aspect too, and how does he sort of command a room?
I think Sam's energy is what kind of helps, and John has the presence where he doesn't always have to speak, but what kind of mood he's in, and what kind of energy you have to bring. Sam's gonna say it. right? Like, there's no holding back. And he's going to talk, he's going to communicate. And the other thing that we know as a staff is how to communicate with him. Like, his personality, like, you can be direct. You have to be direct with him. Can't beat around the bush. You got to tell him exactly what he needs to do, and you have to say it to him. And he accepts coaching. He tries to continue to grow and get better. And, he's had a great start to the year, and there's still things that he can clean up. There's still ways for him to get better. But his energy every day is what we need. He comes in and he's yelling and he's talking nonstop, whether it's his team or the other team. In games, I try and tell him to talk to our team. Like, don't talk to the team in red or the officials. They're not with us. Like, talk to the guys on our team more because we need your energy. So that's where you see where his leadership and his presence really comes in.
Micah, obviously, between turnovers and I think they had 13 offensive rebounds, they did pretty well to get some extra possessions for themselves. What did you see on the defensive glass from your guys, and what do you guys think that you did to overcome that, possession deficit?
I think for us it's a matter of just cleaning it up and boxing out, stepping to your man. Right? They took a lot of threes. They took 32 threes. And for us, when we go through walkthrough or when we're in practice, we always talk about stepping to your man when the shot goes up. Right? We get a bad habit every once in a while when the shot goes up. We turn and we go towards the basket. But when it's a long three, it's going to bounce out over top of your head. But if you step to your man every single time, you're eating up that space. Now the ball ends up coming right to you instead of it going over top of your head. So those are things we'll continue to get better at. Like I said, they took a lot of threes. Like, that's what we wanted them to do. You got to give up something. We didn't get back cut very much, which we're happy about our progress there. But they were going to take a lot of threes. We needed to really be focused on not letting the ball go over our heads, stepping to our man, hitting bodies, and then going and getting the rebounds. Thank you, guys.